Hello, dear DSC candidates. Welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I'm Koresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In today's video, I'm going to teach you a very interesting Indian story, The Thief, written by Ruskin Bond, one of the most beloved and prolific writers. And I therefore request all of you to pay a very good attention to this video till the end without skipping it in the middle. I also request all of you to consider subscribing to my channel and also sharing this video with all your near and dear ones who are also going to take the DSC examination along with you. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. The Thief, written by Ruskin Bond. And before I teach you this story, I would like to tell you a few important points about the writer as well as the story. Okay. First of all, I would like to talk to you a few things about this writer, that is Ruskin Bond. Okay. And here you pay attention, key points about Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond was born on May 19th, 1934 in Kasauli, India, to British parents. So he was born to British parents on May 19, 1934, and this Ruskin Bond is one of India's most beloved and prolific authors. Prolific authors means the writer who is writing more and more. Okay, that kind of writer is called prolific. So he is one of the most beloved writers of this country, and he is also one of the most prolific writers of this country. And here he is known for his evocative storytelling. That means all his stories are evocative. Evocating means they evoke emotional responses, okay, from the readers, and therefore he is known for evocative storytelling and vivid portrayal of life in the Indian hills, and he describes the life of the Indians, especially living in the Indian hills. Okay, Bond has spent most of his life in India, particularly in the hill stations of Dehradun and Mussoorie. So you know very well, Dehradun is a very big city and Mussoorie is a municipality. Okay, these are the two hill stations. Okay, these are the two hilly regions, hilly areas located in Uttarakhand. You know that very well. And he lived most of his life in these two places. And now what happened? Because he lived in these two places, his close connection to these hill places, they have profoundly influenced his writings. So they have influenced his writings. That means in all his writings you can find the atmosphere of the hilly regions. Okay, and often reflects the beauty, simplicity and charm of rural and small town life. And all his writings will reflect what the beauty, simplicity and charm of rural and small town life. That means the beauty of rural life, the simplicity of rural life and the charm of rural life, and all these things you can find in his very interesting stories. And I really like him very much. Personally, I like Ruskin Bond very much, and not only myself, millions of people like this Ruskin Bond because of his wonderful stories. Now let us move on to learn a few more things about this great writer. Okay, and Bond's literary career began early. Okay, and he started his literary career as early as a young age. Okay, here you see with his first novel. What is that? The Room on the Roof. Okay, that is the title. That is the title of his first novel, and winning the John Llewellyn Rice Prize. So he won that prestigious prize in 1957 itself. And about this The Room on the Roof, is one more important point I have given you here. This is nothing but a semi-autobiographical novel, and this was written by him when he was just 17 years of age. See, he was just a teenage boy. At that time he could write a beautiful novel, and for that novel he could win John Llewellyn Rice Prize. So that is the greatness of this writer, and in a way we can call him a born writer, because who can write a novel at the age of 17? So that's why we can call him a born writer also, right? So you go to the next point. He introduced to his readers his distinctive style. Okay, his clear-cut style. What is the style of his writing? His style was simple yet profound. That means, his style is very simple but very deep, with feelings, with the thoughts, with the ideas and all that. And here you see, with a deep sensitivity to human emotions and nature. So he wrote, very so many things about the human emotions, about this nature, and he expressed many of his strong feelings about human emotions and nature. So that's the greatness of this writer. Over the years, Bond has written more than 500 short stories. Generally, from 8th class onwards, I think, his stories will be prescribed for study. 8th, 9th, 10th, first year intermediate, second year intermediate, something like that. At a degree college level also, his stories are prescribed for study. So here, because he wrote more than 500 short stories, essays and novellas. Novellas means they are also some kind of fiction stories that fall between a short story and a full-length novel. So they fall in between these two. That means these novellas are neither short stories nor novels, and in between them. That means, we can directly call them big stories. Okay, 500 short stories, essays and big stories, along with nearly 100 books, including works for children and young adults. So that is the track record of this great distinguished writer Ruskin Bond. And you go to the next point about him. His writing is known for its clarity and lyrical quality. So all his writings are full of clarity and lyrical quality. That means, they maintain clarity of thoughts, clarity of feelings, clarity of emotions, clarity of ideas. So there will be a lot of clarity, and at the same time you can also find some lyrical beauty in those stories. And that means, the more you read the stories of this writer, the more you want to read his stories. That is that. So that is like that, often drawing on his own experiences and observations. And in all his writings, you can find his personal experiences which he has come across in his everyday life. You can also find in his writings the observations he has made in the public life, okay, with the people he has moved about in the hilly regions. So all the experiences, all the observations he has had in his life are depicted in his writings. Okay, that is there. Now let's move on to other important points about this great writer. Some of his most notable works include what? So his notable works are very important. I am giving you a picture of his most important works. Okay, The Room on the Roof, you know very well. This is his first novel, written in 1956. It tells the story of Rusty. So that Rusty is none other than Ruskin Bond himself. Okay, and by that name he called himself. Ruskin Bond called himself Rusty and all that. That is his nickname. So it is only the story about this Rusty, an orphaned Anglo-Indian teenager living in Dehra. Dehra means Dehradun, something like that. So this is a story about this Rusty or Ruskin Bond, and therefore it is called a semi-autobiographical novel. Okay, and here for this only he has got some John Llewellyn Rice Prize also. And here The Blue Umbrella. It is also a very important story. It's a novella. Okay, it's a novella means it's a big story. Okay, short story is short story and novel is a novel, and in between these two, that kind of story is called a novella. Okay, a poignant, okay, heart-touching, what is that novella? About a little girl named Binia who trades her lucky leopard's lord pendant for a beautiful blue umbrella. So this Binia is there. She exchanges her lucky leopard's claw. So some lucky leopard's claw is there like this, that is so something like that, this kind of lucky leopard's claw people will wear in the northern India. And what did this Binia do? She exchanged this lucky leopard's claw for a beautiful blue umbrella. This is a kind of beautiful story of children, and here it's meant for children. Blue umbrella, right? And you go to the next one, Rusty series. Rusty series means again Ruskin Bonds, a collection of stories and novels centered around the character Rusty, often considered a semi semi-autobiographical representation of Bond himself. Already I have told you about that. This Bond himself is called Rusty. About himself, he wrote so many stories and novels, and all these stories and novels are collected in this book Rusty series. Okay, and you go to the next one, A Big Flight of Pigeons. So this is yet another title of his book that was published in 1978, set during the Indian Rebellion of 1857. The Sipai Mutiny took place in 1857. You know very well that setting in that story pertains to this 1857. Okay, and this novella tells the story of Ruth Labrador, a young girl whose father is killed in that revolt. So in that revolt, what happened? No, in that Sipai Mutiny or revolt, what happened? Her father was killed. So this A Flight of Pigeons, this story deals with the story of Ruth Labrador. Okay, that is there. And you go to other or works of this writer. And fifth one, Delhi is not far. So this is a story written in 1994 about the small town of People Nagar, where a group of dreamers, okay, they dream about something. What is that? Who are those three persons? An Urdu writer, a rickshaw puller, and a prostitute. So this is a group. No, this group of dreamers. What did they do? They yearn for. That yearn for means they have desired for a better life in Delhi. So that means they wanted to go to Delhi and they wanted to live in Delhi, a better life and all that. So that is the all about the story of this Delhi is not far, written in 1994. You go to the next book of this next story of this person, Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra. It was written in 1991. It is nothing but a collection of short stories that revisit Bond's childhood and in Dehra. That means, you know, and this collection of stories deal with what the writer's childhood and youth in Dehradun. Okay, right. You go to the last one of his writings, Susanna's Seven Husbands, written in 2002. It is a novella. Novella means a big story, okay, in between a short story and a novel. Okay, it is a novella about Susanna, a woman who marries 7 times and loses each of her husbands under mysterious circumstances. So it's a very interesting novella. She marries 7 times, all the 7 times, okay, all the 7 husbands she loses under mysterious circumstances. That's very important. They did not die of some disease or something, but they die under mysterious circumstances. That's why. So it is very interesting. So in this way, these are only the major writings of this great writer Ruskin Bond. Now let's move on to learn a few more things about this great writer. Bond's stories frequently explore the themes of love, the themes of friendship, the themes of loneliness, the themes of passage of time, passing away of time, okay, capturing the essence of everyday life with warmth and compassion. That means, you know, in all his writings, you can find the essence of everyday life with warmth and compassion. That means, you know, the everyday life of the people can be found in his writings, and therefore the deal with love, friendship, loneliness, and passage of time, and all that. Okay, and wonderful. And you go to the next point about him. His characters are often ordinary people. Okay, and if you read his stories, you know, you find that almost all the characters he has created in his writings are ordinary people. They are only ordinary people whose lives and emotions depicted with extraordinary depth and empathy. So here, the life of these ordinary people, the emotions of these ordinary people are depicted or portrayed in his writings with extraordinary depth and with extraordinary empathy. Empathy means some kind of concern. Okay, right. And that is the greatness of this writer. You go to the next point about him. Ruskin Bond's contributions to literature have been recognized with several awards. So his rich contributions to literature have been recognized with several awards. Because of his great contributions to literature, what happened? He was given several awards that include Sahitya Academy Award. It's a literary award. Okay, and only this award is bestowed upon the people who make outstanding contribution to the literary world and all that. Okay, it's a literary award. And Padma Shri and Padma, these are the civilian awards. Anybody can get these awards. Okay, if at all they excel in their respective fields, then they are eligible for 2 awards. So in this way, this Ruskin Bond received Sahitya Academy Award. This is the most prestigious literary award. And later on, Padma Shri, another prestigious award. Padma Bhushan Award is another prestigious award, and so on. And you go to the next point. Despite his global recognition, in this way, he achieved global recognition. That means, throughout the world, he had millions of fans and readers of his literature. Okay, he remains deeply rooted in the Indian literary tradition, but he lives only in the Indian literary tradition. Okay, of course, globally he is known, worldwide he is recognized, but here he lives in the Indian literary tradition only. Okay, his works continue to resonate with readers of all ages, making him a cherished figure in Indian literature. And his writings are read not only by children, not only by youngsters, but all kinds of people, because he is a cherished figure in Indian literature. So these are the very important points about this Ruskin Bond. And now let's move on to learn a few more things about the story. Key points about the story. What are the key points? Here you pay attention. The Thief by Ruskin Bond is what? A compelling short story. It's a powerful short story that explores the themes of trust, number 1, redemption, okay, so salvation, and the transformative power of kindness. So this kindness has the transformative power. That means this kindness can change anybody. If you show kindness towards anybody, he will immediately change. Okay, and here trust, the themes of trust, the themes of redemption, the themes of transformative power of kindness, this story deals with, and therefore it's a very compelling story or a powerful story. Okay, and you go to the next one. Set against a simple backdrop. The story is as simple as anything else. Okay, the story focuses on the relationship between a young unnamed boy. So the name of that boy is not given in the story. He is an unnamed boy, but he is a young boy who is a habitual thief. He is a seasoned thief. Okay, he is a habitual thief, and a man named Arun. So the story takes place between this unnamed boy and this Arun. Okay, Arun is a young boy who becomes an unexpected mentor and friend. And this man, this Arun, what does he do? He changes this young boy who is a habitual thief. Okay, he's a habitual thief, but this Arun takes care of this boy and changes him entirely with his kindness, with his love, with his good treatment. Right, and here you go to the next point about this story. The narrative is driven by the internal conflict of the boy. So throughout the story you can find the boy's internal conflict. That the boy who is a thief, in the heart of hearts, there will be some kind of conflict. He wants to steal something from this Arun, and he wants to run away. He wants to go to some other person, and there he wants to steal, and he wants to continue his thievish life. Every time there will be a kind of struggle in the heart of this young boy, right? And who torn between his instinct to steal. One side he wants to steal costly things in that house. At the same time, the trust Arun places in him. So between the instinct to steal the things in the house and the trust that Arun reposes in him. So between these two things, what happens, that boy gets torn, and there will be a big conflict in his heart. Okay, right. That conflict, drives this story forward. Okay, that is there. And you go to the next one. Bond's storytelling is marked by simplicity and depth. Okay, and the story is very simple and depth. Okay, and making the characters and their emotional journeys relatable and poignant. And therefore, his stories are relatable, and they are also very poignant, heart touching, and all that. So that is the greatness of this Bond's The Thief. Okay. Let us now move on to other things about this story. The story is a fine example of Bond's ability to delve into human emotions. So this story is a fine example for his delving into human emotions. Human emotions are really very interesting. If you listen to the story, you understand how the human emotions will be changing from time to time. And here these human emotions are depicted in the story, and moral dilemmas. So moral dilemma is there. So that boy is actually a thief, and he has been taken care of by this young man Arun, and he reposes his trust in that boy. But that boy wants to steal the things of that house, but at the same time, he is restricted. Okay, he is controlled by the love and trust that Arun is showing towards him. So he cannot steal the things. So that is there. So here is in a moral dilemma, right? All while maintaining a light and engaging tone. So throughout the story, you can find some engaging tone, very interesting tone you can find in that. Okay, and you go to the next one. Through the interactions between the thief and Arun, Bond subtly conveys the message that even the most wayward individuals can be redeemed through kindness and trust. So through this story, actually what happens, Bond is conveying a beautiful message. What is that? Even the wayward individuals, wayward means what? Boys wandering here and there, vagabonds or wanderers who are out of control of the parents, can be changed. How? Can be redeemed through kindness and trust. Actually, this boy, he wants only to steal and get his livelihood. That is the nature of this boy. But he has been changed. He has been redeemed from his habit of stealing only through kindness and trust of this Arun. So that is the greatness, and that's why any wayward individuals. Wayward means roadside individuals. Okay, left out individuals. Okay, parentless individuals, what happens, they grow without any morals and all that because they don't have parents. Even they can also be changed. They can also be redeemed through kindness and trust. If you can show your kindness, they can change. If you can show your trust if you can put your trust in them, they can change. They can change it. So that's possible. So that is the message this writer is conveying through this story, right? And you go to the next one. The story is thus not just a story of boys' transformation. And it is not a story of a boy's transformation from being a thief to a good man. But it's a reflection on the potential for goodness in everyone. So in everyone, some goodness is there. In everyone, there is some kindness. Using that goodness, using that kindness, you can change those people that are out of control, that are unruly, that have gone astray. దారి తప్పిన వారిని మన యొక్క మంచితనముతో, మంచి దయతో, మన ప్రేమతో వారిని మార్చవచ్చును అనేది, దట్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్ మెసేజ్ యూ కెన్ టేక్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ బ్యూటిఫుల్ స్టోరీ. ఐ రియలీ లవ్ దిస్ స్టోరీ వెరీ మచ్, అండ్ ఐ థింక్ ఐ taught this poem for degree or intermediate students, I think. Okay, right, sometime back. Okay, now you go to learn the story. Okay, summary of The Thief by Ruskin Bond in a nutshell. In a nutshell means very briefly, that is the meaning, right? What is the summary? The whole story is given here. You please listen to this story very attentively, and after that I'm going to teach you about the literary devices employed in this story, and afterwards a small test of 25 bits, okay, both on the story and on the writer, right? And here you pay attention. The Thief is a short story, clear, written by Ruskin Bond, that revolves around the themes of trust, redemption, and the transformative power of kindness. That means, the story revolves or moves where around this trust, okay, redemption means change, and transformative power of this kindness. So between these three things only the whole story runs in this story. Okay, the story is narrated from the perspective of a young unnamed boy who is a seasoned thief. Okay, and this whole story is narrated from the perspective of a young man, means from the point of view of a young boy, unnamed boy, who is a seasoned thief, means who is a habitual thief. So that is the meaning of that, you know very well. You go to the next paragraph. He meets a man named Arun who is around 20 years old. Okay, here one day what happens, this boy, who is a thief, happens to meet a young boy called Arun, and who is around 20 years of age, at a wrestling match. This thief meets this Arun only at a wrestling match, and seeing an opportunity befriends him. So he talked to that thief very friendly and intimately and with affection, with love and all that, and that's why what happened now, and this boy wants to take the advantage of that love and respect of that Arun, and therefore he makes friends with him. And Arun is generous, okay, very kind-hearted man, trusting. He trusts everybody, okay, taking the boy in without any background checks or reservations. So without any reservations means without checking his caste, creed, and this and that, religion and all that, that means the reservation. Checks means, whether he's a good boy or a bad boy, whether he has come from a poor family, a rich family, whatever. So without checking his background, what happened? He takes this boy into his house and even offer him food and shelter. And he takes this boy to his home, okay, and there he provides him with food and also shelter, okay. He asks this boy to stay with him only in that room, in that house, and every day he started providing him with food and all that, okay. And that is the story. Right, now let's move on to the next part of the story. The boy initially plans to rob Arun. Okay, initially means at the beginning he tries to rob Arun or steal the things from Arun, that's the meaning, and move on to his next victim. And after robbing this Arun, he wants to move on to some other person, to some other victim, because from whoever he steals, that is his victim. So after robbing him, he wants to move on to another victim. So that is the plan of this boy. And however, Arun's kindness begins to affect him. So here strangely what happened now, Arun's kindness towards that boy has started affecting him, has started showing impact on him or influence on him. Right, Arun treats the boy with respect and care. He was treating that boy with so much of respect and care, with so much of love and affection, that's the meaning, and teaching him to read and write. And another very important thing is he started teaching him how to read and how to write, because the boy has no education. He is resorting to all thefts and all that. He is continuing his life as a thief, and that's why the boy, this Arun, decided to teach him something. Therefore he also taught him reading and writing, and something that no one has done for him, and this thing nobody has done for him. Of course, people might have given him money, people might have given him food, people might have given him shelter, but people have not come forward to teach him reading and writing. But here this Arun is teaching him how to read and how to write, and moreover he is showing towards this boy a lot of respect and care, a lot of love and respect, love and affection, right. And this act of selflessness, that's very important. This act of selflessness of this Arun plants a seed of change in the boy. So that has started bringing about some kind of change in this boy. He's showing towards me a lot of love. He's showing a lot of care. And he is teaching me how to read and how to write. All these things he is doing to me. Why shouldn't I change? Okay, and that has planted in him a seed of change, and that is there. A seed of change has been planted in his heart. Okay, and you go to the next one. One night, the boy decides to steal a bundle of notes. In spite of all this, what happened? One day this boy happens to see the cash bundles with this Arun. He keeps it on a table or in the almirah, and now the boy has decided to steal the bundles of money and bundles of notes from Arun and flee. He wants to run away from that house, taking that cash from his almirah, because he has seen Arun keeping that money in the almirah and all that. He successfully steals the money. And that night what happened now, and when Arun was sleeping, he just opens the bedroom door, and he opens that almirah very carefully, silently, and what happens now? He steals somehow that money, but is conflicted by guilt. He is prevented by guilt. Oh, though he has shown towards me a lot of love and affection, though he has taught me how to read and write, though he has done a lot of good to me, I am doing some harm to him. I am stealing his money. Some kind of conflict started in his heart of hearts. Right on his way to the railway station, he experiences a change of heart. He went to the railway station, and on the way to the railway station, he was thinking about this, and in the heart of hearts, there started coming some kind of change. Okay, and instead of boarding the train and disappearing, instead of entraining and leaving that place or disappearing from that place, what did he do? That boy returns to Arun's house. He has come back to Arun's house and puts the money back, and very carefully he puts the money back from where he has taken it, even though Arun might catch him. And Arun has been observing all these things. He has seen him stealing that money and again coming back and putting that money in that almirah. He has seen all of them. He could catch him there itself, but he didn't do that. Why? Let us see the remaining part and the last part of the story. The story concludes with Arun waking up the next morning. The next morning, Arun wakes up, from his bed, seemingly aware of what had happened last night. And he knows what actually happened last night, and how that boy stole the money from his almirah, and how he has come back and put that money back, how he has come back and put that money back in the almirah. All these things he knows pretty well. And he is aware of all those things, but he doesn't confront the boy. But he doesn't question the boy about that. And he pretends as if he had no idea about what had happened last night. He simply, he behaves in a normal way. And what did he do? Instead of, he offers him a 50 rupee note to go and buy some daily supplies. So he has called that boy, come on, you take these 50 rupees and go and buy some food supplies for that day. So he has given him 50 rupees and asked him to buy some food supplies. And then this is a kind of a gesture that shows Arun's continued trust in the boy. And this again tells us that this Arun is reposing more and more of his confidence in him. He has reposed in him a lot of trust. And instead of admonishing him, instead of taking him to task, hey, why did you steal the money last night? And instead of saying all these things, he has given him softly, take this 50 rupees and go and buy some food supplies for this day, he simply said. And then that gesture tells the boy, though I have stolen his money and he is behaving in this way, he's showing towards me a lot of love and affection. Oh, what a nice man. I should not harm this man. I should not do injustice to this man. He has thought in his mind. And really, it's a kind of gesture. It's a beautiful gesture, and it shows Arun's continued trust in the boy, despite the fact that he has made an attempt to steal money from his. So, though this Arun knows that this boy has made an attempt to steal the money, but he has changed his mind and he has come back and put the money back in the place where he has taken it from. So, all these things he knows pretty well. In spite of all these things, he reposes his confidence in him. He reposes his trust in that thief. And here that is the story. And here you pay attention. Thus, the story conveys that everyone has the potential for change. Everybody can change. I can change. You can change. If you want, you can change. You can make others also change, because change is the law of nature. Change is the law of nature. You cannot continue to be in the same position. You can change. If you are living a bad life, you can change. If you are living an unruly life, you can change. You can change yourself, because change is the law of nature. So here this boy is ready to change, and sometimes all it takes is a small act of kindness to set someone on the right path. So in order to change somebody, what you have to do is just an act of kindness. You have to show towards that boy or the person an act of kindness, an act of love, an act of affection, an act of respect, and that will definitely change that person's heart. Okay, he can change. So that's why every person is capable of changing himself. You can change others, or you can change yourself, you can change others also. So anything is possible. So everyone has the potential for change. We have that potential. We have that energy to change ourselves. We can change others also if we can try. మనమై మనం మారవచ్చును, ఇతరులను మనం మార్చవచ్చును. ఎలా? మన యొక్క ప్రేమతో, విత్ అవర్ లవ్, విత్ అవర్ అఫెక్షన్, విత్ అవర్ రెస్పెక్ట్, విత్ అవర్ కేర్, మంచితనముతో అందరినీ మనము మరి మార్చవచ్చు. And that means that's why I can well remember one beautiful quotation: love conquers everything. Love conquers all. ప్రేమ అన్నిటిని జయిస్తుంది. Love conquers all. So that boy was a thief, but he has become a good man. How? Because of the love of this Arun. The care means love, affection of this Arun, and the goodness of this Arun, the kindness of this Arun. So love conquers all, right? Okay, and this is the story. And now let us move on to learn about the literary devices that the writer has employed in this story, right? And the literary devices employed in the thief, in the story, the thief. Okay, and here first person narrative is there. In this story you can find the first person narrative, because the entire story is narrated from the perspective of the young boy that is a thief. Okay, right. The story is told from the thief's perspective. That means from the perspective of this thief. Okay, and allowing readers to delve into his thoughts and emotions, because since he is only narrating the story, and he you can easily understand the feelings and emotions that he has in his mind. Okay, you can easily understand what he thinks about himself, what he thinks about Arun, what he wants to do. All these things you can understand very clearly. So that's why the writer has made only this thief to narrate the entire story. That's why it is called first person narrative, right? And this narrative style effectively conveys the inner conflict and transformation and the character of the character undergoes. So this narrative style effectively conveys what? The inner conflict, the transformation the character undergoes. The thief suffers from some kind of conflict, and afterwards he undergoes some transformation. So all these things you can easily understand, because the story is narrated from the thief's perspective, or from the first person point of view, right? And here characterization is there. Ruskin Bond uses direct and indirect characterization to depict the thief and Arun. So here direct characterization means the writer gives the details about the characters. That's called direct characterization. Indirect means through the actions. Okay, through the actions the character does, you can understand additional information about that character. So here you pay attention. The thief is initially portrayed as a cunning, unscrupulous character. Okay, that is said by the writer himself. Okay, but as the story progresses, his vulnerability and desire for change become evident, and as the story progresses, he wants to change. And that means, indirectly, that writer is making you understand that the boy, the thief, is trying to change. Okay, he wants to undergo transformation. Okay, that's there. Okay, Arun is characterized as a kind, trusting, and empathetic figure. So this is what the writer tells you, but serving as a moral anchor in the story. But from his actions, you understand that his character is more than what the writer has told us, or what the writer has described in the story. The writer only says he is a trusting person, empathetic figure, kind person, and all that. But here, from his actions, you understand that he is more than that. Okay, he's really a great personality, because he has decided to change that thief. He wants to, therefore he shows his love and respect for that thief. He also teaches him how to read and write and all those things. That's there. And this is called characterization. And you go to another literary device employed in this story, and symbolism is there. So here in this story, the stolen money symbolizes the boy's old life of crime and deceit. So here in this story, you can find the stolen money with that boy. That means his old life is, of crime and deceit is still with him. That means the boy is living still that old criminal and deceitful life. ఆ దొంగిలించిన సొమ్ము తన దగ్గర ఉందంటే వాట్ ఈస్ ఇట్ ఇండికేటింగ్, వాట్ ఈస్ ఇట్ సింబలైజింగ్? ఇట్ ఈస్ సింబలైజింగ్ దట్ ద బాయ్ ఈస్ స్టిల్ లీడింగ్ వాట్ దట్ ఓల్డ్ లైఫ్ ఆఫ్ క్రైమ్ అండ్ డిసీట్. ఓకే, దట్స్ ఎ సింబల్. అండ్ యూ గో టు ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్, హిస్ రిటర్న్ ఆఫ్ ద మనీ. In the story what happens? No, he returns that money. He keeps the money in the place from where he has stolen. That indicates what? His repentance, his remorse, paschatapam, and also desire for a new beginning. He wants to change himself. Just now I have told you, change is the law of nature. మారొద్దని ఎక్కడుంది? మనుషులు మారాలి. దొంగ కావచ్చు కాక మారొద్దని ఎక్కడుంది? You can change. You can change yourself. You can change others also. That is a different matter. But here, this boy wants to change himself. He wants to make a new beginning. Right. And here, Arun's house, it's also a symbol. A place of safety for this boy. A place of trust and a potential place of, a place of transformation. Arun's house is a symbol for what? A place of safety, a place of trust, a place of potential transformation. So in this way, in this story, you can find wonderful symbolism. Right. You go to the next literary device. Irony is there. What is this irony? The irony contains situational irony, particularly in the way the thief ends up stealing from the very person who shows him kindness. He steals money from that person who shows love and affection towards him, who shows his kindness and goodness. ప్రేమ దయ చూపించిన వాడి నుంచి డబ్బులు దొంగిలించడం, ఇట్స్ an irony, వ్యంగ్యము. Okay, isn't it? And here the real irony lies in the fact that the thief who has spent his life deceiving others is the one who gets transformed by the very person he intended to deceive. So another irony is also there. What is that? This thief, who lived a criminal life, okay, a thievish life, is the one who gets transformed by the very person whom he tries to deceive. ఎవరినైతే మోసం చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాడో అతని ద్వారానే ఇతడు మంచివాడిగా మార్పు చెందడం అనేది ఇట్స్ ఎన్ ఐరనీ. Now you move on to other literary devices. Foreshadowing is there. Foreshadowing means giving hints well beforehand in order to understand the forthcoming incident or forthcoming see the thing that is going to happen. జరగబోదాన్ని గురించి అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి ముందుగానే రైటర్ కొన్ని హింట్స్ ఇస్తాడు. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఫోర్ షాడోయింగ్. ఐ హావ్ బీన్ టెలింగ్ యూ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ రైట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద బిగినింగ్. దెర్ ఆర్ సటిల్ హింట్స్ త్రూఅవుట్ ద స్టోరీ దట్ ద బాయ్ మైట్ చేంజ్ హిస్ వేస్. సో ఎవ్రీ టైమ్ ద రైటర్ ఈజ్ గివింగ్ సమ్ హింట్స్ హియర్ అండ్ దేర్ దట్ ద బాయ్ వాంట్స్ టు చేంజ్. ఓకే, ద బాయ్ ఈజ్ విల్లింగ్ టు చేంజ్ హిస్ లైఫ్ and he wants to get transformation and all that. Okay, Arun's trust and the boy's growing guilt are signs that lead up to the eventual transformation. So here Arun is posing his trust in that thief and this boy is feeling guilty. అరుణేమో వాడి విశ్వాసం ఉంచుతున్నాడు, వాడు నమ్ముతున్నాడు, వీడేమో గిల్టీగా ఫీల్ అవుతారు, దొంగను కదరా ఇట్లా. సో హీ ఈస్ ఫీలింగ్ గిల్టీ. And these two are the signs that tell us, okay, they are leading up to the eventual transformation. The more this Arun is showing trust towards this boy, the more he started feeling guilty. Arun ఎంత నమ్మకం, విశ్వాసము, ప్రేమ అదంతా కనబరుస్తుంటే ఈ పిల్లవాళ్ళు అంతగా గిల్టీ ఫీలింగ్ రావడం. గిల్టీ ఫీలింగ్ వస్తుందంటేనే చాలు, హీ ఈస్ గెటింగ్ రెడీ టు చేంజ్. మనిషి గిల్టీ ఫీలింగ్ రావాలి, తప్పు చేశాననే భావన. దట్ గిల్టీ ఫీలింగ్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్, యూ విల్ డెఫినెట్లీ చేంజ్. తప్పు లేదేంలే మంచి పని చేసినా అనుకో, యూ డోంట్ చేంజ్. Right, leave it and you go to the next one. Conflict is there. Okay, the primary conflict in the story is internal within the thief. So right from the beginning there is some conflict in the heart of the hearts of this thief, and he grapples with the instinct to steal versus the new values he is learning from Arun. So the conflict between these two things, the instinct means natural desire to steal one side, and here what is that? The new values is learning from Arun, the other side. So between these two things, he is facing some kind of conflict. He is grappling, with his instinct to steal versus grapple. There is a grapple. Grapple means there is some struggle. He is struggling, between these two. ఈ రెంటి మధ్య అతడు పోరాటం చేస్తున్నాడు. దొంగిలించాలనేటటువంటి ఆ యొక్క సహజ బుద్ధి, అరుణ్ చూపించే ప్రేమ, మంచితనము ద్వారా మరియు ఆ విలువల ద్వారా మారాలనుకునే ఈ రెండు మధ్య అతడు ఒక విధమైన పోరాటం. There's a kind of struggle, right? And here this conflict drives narrative, leads to the story's resolution. And this conflict only ultimately makes this boy get reformed or transformed or redeemed from his old life and all that. Okay. And you go to other literary devices. Theme is there. What is the theme of this story? The central theme of the story is redemption. Redemption means, in other words, salvation from the old life. Redemption from the old life, the criminal life, the thievish life. And here it explores how kindness and trust can lead to the moral awakening of even those who seem beyond saving. So some people look that they are not going to change under any circumstances. But here what is that? This kindness and trust. If you show kindness and goodness and love and all that, they can definitely change. ప్రేమకు లొంగని వాడంటే ఎవడున్నాడు ఈ ప్రపంచంలో? దట్స్ వై just now I have said, love conquers everything. Love conquers all. ప్రేమ అన్నింటినీ జయిస్తుంది. If you have that love, you can conquer anything. Don't think something is so and so thing is tough for you. You can conquer that with your love. మీ ప్రేమతో అన్నిటిని జయించవచ్చు. Okay. You can maintain good relations with your friends, with your relatives, with your neighbors, only with your love. నీలో మంచి ప్రేమ ఉంటే అందరితో సత్సంబంధాలు నెలకొల్పుకోవచ్చును. సొసైటీలో you will be called a good man. So here what is that? So here kindness, trust can lead to the moral awakening of even those who seem beyond saving. The story also touches on the theme of trust. Okay, the theme of trust is predominant in this story because this Arun puts his confidence or trust in that thief. He knows that pretty well that he is a thief, but he reposes his confidence in him. దొంగని తెలిసి కూడా వాడిని నమ్మడము, విశ్వసించడం అనేది really amazing, right? And here Arun's unwavering belief in the boy's plays a crucial role. So his belief in the boy plays a crucial role in the latter's transformation. So his unwavering belief in the boy, steadfast, unwavering means constant belief, constant trust in this boy that is a thief plays a crucial role, and that's why this boy is rather forced. He thinks that change is a must for him. It will drive him to that corner where he thinks that he must be changed. అతని ప్రేమ, అతని మంచితనము, దాని దయాన్ని కూడా ఎట్లా చేసింది అంటే వాడిని ఒక కార్నర్ తీసుకొచ్చాయి. ఇక వాడు అనుకున్నాడు, అబ్బా ఇక మారకుండా ఉండలేను రా బాయ్, మారితేనే మంచిది, మారకపోతే మనిషినే కాదనుకున్నాడు. సో అలాంటి స్థితికి తీసుకొచ్చాడు అరుణ్ విత్ ఈజ్ యాక్టివిటీస్. ఓకే, కైండ్ యాక్టివిటీస్ అండ్ గుడ్ యాక్టివిటీస్ అండ్ ఆల్ దట్, రైట్? ఓకే, రైట్. నౌ దిస్ plays a crucial role and all that. You go to the last one. Moral lesson is there. From the story you can get a moral lesson. What is that moral lesson? The story conveys that everyone has the potential for change. Everyone has that ability to change. Don't think that you cannot change. You can change yourself, you can also change others. That potential is there. And sometimes all it takes is only small act of kindness to set someone on the right path. And you might think you cannot change others. But with your act of love, with your act of kindness, with your act of goodness, you can change that person. And here it also highlights the importance of trust. Trust is very important. You must believe in that person that he is going to change. And forgiveness is also important in human relationship. You must forgive that person. You must forgive his bad, I can say, things he has done towards you. You forgive, okay, the injuries he has done to you. నీకు చేసిన గాయాలను మర్చిపో అంతే. You forgive them and forget. Forgive and forget. That is very important. And show your love and affection toward that man. He will definitely change. So here, this is a beautiful moral lesson you can learn from this beautiful story. And now I'm going to give you as many as 25 bits both on the story and on the writer, and you please try to answer all of them. If you cannot answer any one of them, you can go to the last slide where you can find the answers for all these questions. Just I read the question and options, that's all, not more than that. You have to do it yourself later on. Right, now let's move on to the exercise. Multiple choice questions on the story and the writer. Okay, right. First of all, I'm going to give you 15 questions on the thief. Okay, that means on the story. And here you pay attention. What is the primary theme of the thief? Okay, primary theme: love, betrayal, redemption, adventure. Okay. What is the occupation of the narrator in the thief? Student, thief, shopkeeper, teacher. Okay. How does the narrator meet Arun? At a market, at a wrestling match, in a school, on a train. What does Arun offer the narrator when they first meet? Money, food and shelter, a job, a book. Okay. What is Arun's age in the story? 16 years old, 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old. What does Arun teach the narrator? How to cook, how to read and write, how to wrestle, how to steal. What does the narrator steal from Arun? Jewelry, money, books, clothes. Where does the narrator go after stealing the money? A friend's house, the railway station, a marketplace, a temple. What causes the narrator to return to Arun's house? Fear of getting caught, guilt and remorse, lack of train tickets, the money was fake. How does Arun react the next morning after the theft? He scolds the narrator, he calls the police, he offers the narrator money to buy supplies, he ignores the narrator. What is the symbolic significance of the stolen money? It represents greed, it symbolizes the boy's old life of crime, it shows Arun's wealth, it has no significance. What literary device is prominently used in the story? Metaphor, hyperbole, irony, simile. Okay. What internal conflict does the narrator face? Whether to leave Arun or not, whether to steal from Arun or not, whether to trust Arun or not, whether to teach Arun to steal. Okay. 14th question. What does the ending of the story suggest about Arun? He is naive. He is aware of the theft but chooses to forgive. He doesn't care about money. He is a strict disciplinarian. 15th one. What genre does the thief belong to? Genre means kind. Horror, comedy, drama, thriller. Okay. And now questions on Ruskin Bond are going to be posed. Come on, you can answer them. Where was Ruskin Bond born? Dehradun, Shimla, Kasauli, Missouri. Which was Ruskin Bond's first novel? The Room on the Roof, The Blue Umbrella, A Flight of Pigeons, Vagrants in the Valley. Which prize did Ruskin Bond win for his first novel? Booker Prize, Sahitya Academy Award, John Llewellyn Rice Prize, Padma Shri. 19th one. Which Indian state has most influenced Bond's writing? Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, West Bengal. Which of the following is a recurring theme in Ruskin Bond's works? Recurring theme: urban life, nature and the environment, political struggles, science fiction. Okay, this fiction please, T is not there. Okay, 21st question. Which award has Ruskin Bond not received? Sahitya Academy Award, Padma Bhushan, Nobel Prize in Literature, Padma Shri. What is a characteristic feature of Bond's writing style? Complex and ornate language, simple and evocative prose, heavy use of metaphors, frequent shifts in narrative perspectives. Okay. 23rd one. Which of the following is a popular children's book by Ruskin Bond? Harry Potter, The Jungle Book, The Blue Umbrella, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. In which genre has Ruskin Bond not written? Horror, romance, science fiction, historical fiction. Okay, you go to the last question. 25th one. Which aspect of Indian life is most commonly reflected in Bond stories? Political unrest, rural and small town life, high-tech cities, industrial development. So these are the 25 bits, 25 questions framed on this story as well as the writer. And if you cannot answer all of them, hope you can easily answer them. If you cannot answer any one of them, you just go to the last page where you can find the answers on the thief. Okay, the answers for 1 to 14 are given here this side, and from 15 to 25 these are the answers for those questions. Okay, and with this this beautiful, very interesting story comes to an end. Hello dear DSC candidates, thank you so much for watching this beautiful, very interesting video. And if you have any problem in understanding any of the points I have explained in this story, please mention it in the comment section. Okay, with another story, The Bet, written by Anton Chekhov, I shall be back to you. Until then, bye, see you, all of you.